makes people appreciate you. That's the fairy tale we were all sold, right? The idea that kindness is this magical.
You think being helpful makes people respect you. You think being available makes people value you. You think being generous, currency Sal, the more you hand it out, the richer you become in respect, love, and admiration. Sounds beautiful. Makes billions every you selling that fantasy on greeting cards. But here's the brutal truth that will knock the wind
out of your good person identity. The more you do for people, the less they think of you. Read that again. It's backwards, it's unfair, and it's painfully human. The more you bend over backwards to please, the more invisible. Instead of admiration, you get expectation. Instead of gratitude, you get entitlement. Think about it. When was the last time you sincerely thanked Google Maps? You don't. You scream at it when it takes you the long way. But the hundreds of times it got you to Starbucks without getting lost? That's just its job. That's what happens when you're always available, always giving, always reliable. People stop seeing you as a person, Klein. They see you happens when you're always available, always giving, always reliable. People stop seeing you as a person, Bison. They see you as a feature. And here's the real kicker. Every single day, you're training people to treat you like their personal
servant without even realizing it. You think you're building goodwill. In reality, you're building a reputation for being the one,
a doormat startup. Congratulations, you're the founder, the product, and the investor. The market is booming, but unfortunately, the person who can be dumped on, leaned on, and taken for granted with zero pushback. It's like you've accidentally opened a...
Only stock going down is your self-respect. Now, I know what you're thinking, but isn't kindness supposed to be a
good thing? Didn't my mom, my pastor, every Disney movie, and my therapist tell me that kindness is the highest virtue? Yes, and they're right, but only half right. Kindness without boundaries isn't kindness. It's self-erasure. It's generosity that turns toxic, like drinking a gallon of water in one sitting. Water is good. Too much water? You're in the
ER with hyponatremia. That's exactly what's happening with your endless kindness. You think you're nourishing people, but you're actually drowning
in your own people-pleasing. Here's the image I want you to hold in your head. Imagine being at a party. Someone brings chips, people say, thanks, man. Someone else brings dip, oh, cool. You cater the entire thing. Barbecue, ribs, fancy cocktails, gluten-free cupcakes, and a live mariachi band. People enjoy it, sure, but do they respect you more?
Nope. They just assume you'll do it again next time. That's the hidden cost of kindness. The more you supply,
the more demand you create, and the less appreciation you get in return. Economists call this diminishing marginal utility, almost impossible to reverse. You've branded yourself as the reliable one, the helper, the fixer, the unpaid intern in the
movie of their life. And you know what happens to interns? They don't get respect. They get coca, they get coffee runs.
But don't panic yet, because here's the plot twist. This isn't the end of the story. This is the setup.
And like any good movie, the setup has to sting so the payoff feels powerful. There are 5 specific things
you're probably doing right now that are destroying your self-respect, killing your boundaries, and turning you into everyone's favorite doormat.
These aren't just bad habits. They're psychological booby traps, subtle signals you're broadcasting to the world that scream, my time, my energy, my dignity, worthless. Take as much as you want. And spoiler alert, people are listening. So buckle up, because in the next part, I'm gonna show you exactly what those traps are. And fair warning, when you stop falling into them. Some people will hate it. They'll accuse you of being selfish, rude, difficult. Good. That means you're finally growing a backbone. There are 5 specific things you're probably doing right now that are destroying your
self-respect, killing your boundaries, and turning you into everyone's favorite doormat. Kindness trap number 1, over-giving. You think generosity is your superpower. You've read the Instagram quotes. The secret to living is giving. That looks great on a sunset background
with cursive font. But here's the actual secret. When you give too much, you train people to stop seeing your value.
generosity as a gift will and start seeing it as customer service. It's like Costco giving out free samples. The
First time, people are grateful. The 10th time, they just expect it. They don't thank you for the little pizza and
bite. They hover around your cart like hungry seagulls, waiting for their turn. That's you when you give endlessly. The Stoics figured this out 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius didn't hand out hugs like Oprah handing out cars. He just
knew that respect isn't earned through endless service. Respect comes from boundaries. And here's the kicker. When you overgive, you're not just being kind. You're trying to buy people's approval at the clearance rack of self-worth. And spoiler, the exchange and
rate sucks. You spend 100 units of energy, you get maybe 2 polite thank yous, and by the next week, everyone's
forgotten. Kindness trap #2, never saying no. This one hurts. Because you think saying yes makes you likable. But
every time you say yes when you want to say no, you're basically handing out free coupons to your soul. Picture this. Someone asks you to help them move. You're exhausted. You had plans. But instead of saying, sorry, can't do it, you launch into a TED Talk of excuses. Well, I'd love to help, but I've got this thing.
And then there's this other situation, and I'm really sorry, but maybe next time. Stop. Just stop. You sound like
a bad politician apologizing for a scandal that hasn't even hit the news yet. Here's what actually happens. Every reason
you give becomes ammo. Oh, you're busy? It'll only take 5 minutes. Oh, you're tired? Come on, don't be lazy.
Oh, you have plans? Cancel them. This is important. Your no isn't a boundary. It's an opening bid in a
negotiation you never wanted. Strong people don't explain their boundaries. They enforce them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over
your mind, not outside events." You don't owe anyone a PowerPoint presentation about why you're unavailable. Here's the upgrade. When someone asks and you don't want to, just say no. Full stop. That's it. No footnotes, no TED Talk.
No appendix. Watch how fast people either accept it or reveal they never respected you in the first place. Kindness trap #3, being everyone's free therapist. Let's be honest, you know this role. You're the one everyone calls at 11 p.m. when their boyfriend ghosted them, when their boss yelled at them, or when Mercury is in retrograde and their aura feels off, and you sit there like a human dumpster, absorbing all their negativity. They unload the same
problems, tell the same stories, cry the same tears. You give advice, pep talks, and motivational speeches worthy of Tony
Robbins. And do they change? Of course not. They just come back next week for another episode of Trauma Dump. Theater. Here's the truth. Most people don't want solutions. They want an audience. They don't call you because your advice is magical. They call you because you're reliable, available, and too polite to hang up. You've become their emotional support
animal. Not their friend hound, their therapy dog. The cost? You're sanit. You start your day fine. After 3 calls of listening to, he texted me a smiley but no heart emoji, what does it mean? You feel drained, resentful,
and pessimistic. Their chaos infects your mindset like secondhand smoke. Seneca nailed it. Every new beginning comes from some other
beginning's end. But you can't start new chapters in your life if you're busy editing other people's soap operas. The best solution? Brutal but simple. Stop being available for every emotional meltdown. When someone starts dumping, redirect. Say, that sounds tough.
What are you going to do about it? Notice how quickly the drama stops when they realize you're not a free therapist. Kindness trap #4, lending, forgiving, and playing ATM. Ah, yes, the friend who's always broke when the
bill comes, who forgot their wallet, or who constantly has emergencies requiring your money, your car, or your Saturday afternoon. But when you need help, crickets. Suddenly they're busier than the DMV on a Monday. Here's what's happening. You're not
a friend. You're a resource, a walking Venmo account with no password. You're training people to see your time and
money as public property. And psychology confirms it. When you give endlessly without reciprocity, the relationship becomes one-directional. They start
Expecting, not appreciating. You start resenting, not respecting. Epictetus, who literally started life as a slave, knew this. Better than anyone, you can't control what others do, but you can control whether you keep signing up for their
Nonsense. When you keep giving to takers, you're choosing your own chains. The Stoic fix? Practice reciprocity-based generosity. Help people who also help others. Do favors for those who return them. Stop rewarding selfishness like it's good behavior. Because your
Generosity shouldn't be a subsidy for freeloaders. It should be a reward for character. Kindness trap #5. Over-apologizing and then
chasing validation. This is the sneakiest trap. You say sorry for everything. Sorry for asking. Sorry for bothering you. Sorry.
I exist. Every unnecessary apology is a tiny act of self-betrayal. You're telling the world, my presence is inconvenient. Yourself into human origami trying to be liked. But here's the brutal truth. External validation is a drug that never satisfies. The more you chase approval, the less you approve of yourself. The more you try to be liked by everyone, the less you actually like yourself. Marcus Aurelius understood this centuries ago. Your worth isn't decided by a popularity contest. Real strength comes when you stop needing applause to validate your decisions. When you stop apologizing for existing, people
Stop treating you like a guest in your own life. And when you stop chasing validation, you finally meet the
One person whose approval actually matters, you. So there you have it, the 5 traps that keep you stuck. In the kindness prison. Overgiving, never saying no, playing therapist, acting like an ATM, apologizing for existing. And here's what
Wild, the moment you stop doing these things, people will freak out. They'll call you selfish. They'll whine that you've got free ATM or their free validation machine. You've upgraded from pushover to person with boundaries. And that's the kind of the
plot twist Marcus Aurelius would absolutely high-five you for. Here's what's gonna happen when you stop doing these 5 things. At first, chaos, utter confusion. People are gonna look at you like your personality just downloaded a new one.
operating system. You used to say yes. Now you say no. You used to explain. Now you just smile and just
Walk away. You used to be the free therapist. Now you recommend they try an actual therapist.
and they won't.
Like it. In fact, some will throw a tantrum. They'll accuse you of being selfish, cold, even toxic. That's because if you're breaking the unwritten contract they've had with you for years, you exist to make their lives easier. But here's
The plot twist. When people start accusing you of being selfish, it usually means you're finally taking care of yourself.
Think about it. If you've been everyone's emotional Uber, financial ATM, and life coach on demand, of course they'll be mad when
You turn off the meter. Nobody applauds when the free trial ends. They just complain about the subscription price.
the pushback phase. When you set boundaries, expect pushback. The friend who always borrowed money, he'll suddenly act offended that.
You changed. The coworker who always dumped tasks on you, she'll pout like a toddler denied candy. Good. That means the system is working. People who only liked you for your endless availability were never really your friends. They were
Your users. And cutting off users is the first step to building real relationships. Some will drift away. Let them. You weren't losing friends, you were losing freeloaders disguised as friends. The respect phase. Then something incredible happens.
the people who truly care about you, the ones who respect character, not convenience, will adapt. They'll notice. You're no longer available 24/7, so they'll value your time more. Suddenly, your yes means something because it's not guaranteed. Suddenly, your help feels like a gift again, not a handout. Suddenly, your presence feels intentional, not automatic. This is
When your relationships start leveling up. Less transactional, more genuine. Less draining, more balanced. Remember, boundaries don't push good people.
the way. They filter out the ones who are only there to exploit you. The inner upgrade. Here's the part. No one tells you the biggest change isn't how other people treat you, Ron. It's how you treat you. When you stop explaining yourself, you start believing you don't need to. When you stop apologizing for existing, You start realizing, and
You deserve space. When you stop chasing validation, you finally get to meet the unedited version of yourself, the one who doesn't need applause to feel worthy. This is self-respect in action. And here's the kicker. It's not selfish.
it's essential. Marcus Aurelius said it best. How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does. Stop obsessing about what people think of your boundaries.
The final truth, respect isn't earned by bending over backwards. It's not earned by being the most generous, the most available, or the most apologetic. Respect is commanded by people who know their worth and enforce it. You can't pour them
From an empty cup. You can't teach others to value you if you keep devaluing yourself. You can't expect respect.
When you're advertising your time, your energy, and your dignity at bargain bin prices. So stop. Stop training people to treat you like a doormat.
Stop giving endless explanations for your decisions. Stop absorbing drama that isn't yours. Stop funding friendships with your bank account. Stop apologizing for being human. Stop auditioning for approval you don't need. The moment you do,
Yes, some people will hate it. They'll call you selfish. They'll say you've changed. And they'll be absolutely right.
because you're finally evolving from pushover to person, from support system to self-respecting human being, from cheap to priceless, and
That's the upgrade you've needed all along. If you're ready to stop being everyone's doormat and start commanding the respect you deserve, here's your next step. Practice saying no unapologetically once a day. Protect your time like it's gold. And this, remind yourself, self-respect isn't selfish hype, it is survival. Because the truth is, you don't need more approval. You need more
Backbone. And once you build it, the right people will stick around and the wrong ones will finally walk.